A 19-year-old naturalized U.S. citizen from Somalia is accused of attempting to blow up a van filled with explosives. The detonation site right there at last night's crowded Christmas tree lighting ceremony in Portland's Pioneer Square. The top FBI agent in Oregon says the suspect, and I'm quoting here, was absolutely committed to carrying out an attack on a very grand scale. This agent says the threat was real, but the explosives were fake. The suspect, Mohammed Osman Mohammed, had been on the FBI's radar for months. His arrest came after a long undercover operation, and former FBI agent Tom Fuentes joining us now by phone with more on this case. Thomas, thanks so much for being with us. And I guess first off, one of the things that I want to get to is when you read the affidavit, you can see that this suspect, according to it, Mohammed Osman Mohammed, was in touch with someone, perhaps seemingly a known terrorist overseas, and obviously authorities were able to intercept this. It seems like it came down to intelligence, right?
Right, it appears so, Brianna. Situation like that where the FBI got information that he was attempting to get involved in a bomb plot, and luckily were able to insert undercover investigators into the plot instead of the actual jihadists.
And one of the things, and this is also in the affidavit, according to it, Mohammed Osman Mohammed said, Oregon, you know, no one ever thinks about Oregon, and it was kind of this idea that it was an unexpected venue. This is something that kind of anyone in the U.S. looks at and is fearful of the fact they see in Oregon, this could be in my community. How much of a fear is it that these are the kind of things that perhaps homegrown terrorists are trying to carry out?
Well, that's a huge fear. I mean, everybody right now expects the attack to occur either in New York City or Washington, D.C., or at least a major city of the United States. And so to have it occur in somewhere that's not New York is an issue, because then everybody can wonder whether or not somebody in their neighborhood is plotting to do something like this in their community.
What would we be talking about in terms of the human death toll if this had been carried out?
That I don't know. I didn't see what the quantity was or how crowded the square was. I mean, there's a lot of factors that would determine that, and normally the authorities will not speculate on the actual death toll of a device. They will, later say what the quantity would have been or what he was attempting to do. But in this case, since the device was inert from the beginning, you won't have that. Obviously, it seems like he would want to do, any size that he could get a hold of would be fine with him.
What about, let's talk about perhaps the defense that he may seek. If you read the affidavit, police authorities say they did a bit of a dry run with him, that they took him out, did a test run with a smaller explosive device as sort of a rehearsal, and then they went to Pioneer Square there and had this van filled with fake explosives. But how important is it to have that trail? The test run, they also have him on the record saying, making it clear that he was fully realizing what was going to happen. How is that going to play in prosecuting him?
Well, the main defense would be that it was entrapment, that he really wasn't going to do what he said he was going to do. It was all talk, and he was, basically the FBI committed entrapment. They talked him into doing something that he didn't really want to do or might not have actually done at the end of the day. And I think that's why you see, in Special Agent in Charge, Art Balazan makes it clear in the statement that he was absolutely committed to this. So that particular step was just one more effort to show both ways. Number one, that he's committed to using an explosive device, and that to reinforce in his mind that the people he's with, the undercover investigators, that he believes are part of the bomb plot, are capable of actually detonating an explosive device. So it's not just talk, but they've actually detonated one. They've showed him this is what's available, or this is what's going to happen. And then later he says, okay, let's go forward with a plot to do it with people around, with victims.
Yeah, and certainly you get the sense from the affidavit that authorities were trying to cross all of their T's as they did that and really leave a trail. Tom Fuentes, former FBI agent, thanks so much for talking with us this morning.
You're welcome, Brianna.